Yo, Kaiju number 8 is on one, and Kafka is captured. So let's talk about it. Welcome back, Geek. So today we're talking about Kaiju number 8. We're talking about Kafka. He is captured at the end of the last episode. He had risked his life to save everyone, and in thanks of that, he gets guns drawn, locked up, and he is trying to figure out his next moves. So it's wild. Basically, let's just get into it. Kafka had to save everything from the big world-ending ball of explosions that was about to happen, and he ended up pushing it away, so they exploded further away. It still caused a lot of damage. Like 75% of the base is inoperable at the moment, but he still saved a lot of lives in that process. But he outed himself as Kaiju number 8 in the process, and that's not good for him. That's going to be a bad day, because him and Reno and Kikuru, everybody was doing everything to keep it covered up, but it had to come out eventually. Now, even though he was a Kaiju the entire time, Mina is still going to bat for him. She is trying to make sure that he has everything that he needs to prove that he is a human, that he is good, that he has not been a liability to the team, that he has been an asset. She is putting to work and trying to give him the chance to still fight beside her. So that is awesome from her. I'm glad to see it. That's one of his, dreams to still have that happen. And he's still holding on to that. And the fact that she confirmed it for him gives him hope. And even with Reno, who he couldn't look at the eyes, he was walking down thing. He still was like, Reno popped out of formation, was like, yo, I hope you make it back, senpai. Like he was still there in his corner. So Kafka's got people in his corner. He's got things that he's got to look forward to. So hopefully that will give him the motivation to kind of come out on top of all this at some point in time. But how's he going to come back on top? On top? I don't know. Right now they got him running through a bunch of different tests, a bunch of different kaiju tests. They're checking his X-rays, they're checking his blood, they're checking everything. They even take a look at his core, and they're like, his core looks kind of like a heart, but it's not a heart; it's a core. So I'm not sure if he's going to be like possibly shape that to the heart, and that's going to kind of help prove his innocence, or if that's going to be a non-factor. Not sure, but that is something that is prevalent at the moment because that's something they're looking at. You also found out that they're splitting up the third division while he's locked up because he's been in there for a couple of days. The entire third division gets split up. So everybody's trying to do what they can to kind of help Kafka. Even Aoi, I can't say, I'm bad at these names. So the AOI, blonde hair guy, like he is trying to make a few phone calls from people that he worked with to see if they can do some stuff for Kafka. Even Kikuru, she's trying to plead to her father, the director general, to do something for Kafka, and he's like, "Nah, your mother died to a kaiju like that. Not happening." Like he is stone faced, like I'm finna do it. Whereas the other guys are, hey, we're here, but they're getting split up. Third division's getting split up. They're gonna go in different units, different interdepartmental units to kind of figure stuff out. They don't know if it's being, they're being monitored because they were working with the kaiju, so to speak, and they may be kaiju themselves. Anybody can be a kaiju. That's kind of the theory that they were throwing out. Um, it's possible, but again, they don't know how the process happens. So we saw it's a creature that does it and changes everything. It's not just hey, this person's a kaiju next to you. But we have seen number 9 running around, who is a kaiju, but takes a human form. So yes, no, maybe, I don't know. It could go either way. Even with all of that, the director general still is like, I'm going to go see this for myself and come down there. And that's when he's like, I'm going to evaluate Kafka. Kafka's like, I got a chance to explain. They're like, yo, take off them restraints. Let's have a conversation. And that conversation was literally bow, taking shots at Kafka without thinking twice about it. He naturally protected himself, but again, he's trying to prove a point that you're a kaiju. You're not going to be nothing more than a kaiju. This was going to be. So he proceeds to attack the crap out of Kafka while Kafka's trying to explain. So he's taking chunks of blood out of him. Like he's literally ripping out his gut, taking off arms. It's going ham. But here's the biggest freaking twist of all this. He actually pulls out some gauntlets. He's got some like lightning freaking gauntlets. Like he's about to do some damage. He got these big, rail spikes kind of in them things. he is going to work on Kafka. He is beating the crap out of him, taking off limbs, freaking left and right. He is punching holes in the body. Like he is jacking Kafka. He's trying to force Kafka to transform. And in the process, we hear the synchronizations, the cell synchronization of number 2, Kaiju number 2 cell synchronization, which means what was said earlier about them making Kaiju weapons based off of Kaiju is true. They took Kaiju number 2, a monster that was around in 1972. They took it out and managed to take its abilities and put them into a weapon that the general is using. General Shinomiya, he is using this to do damage and trying to end Kafka for whatever hatred and stuff he has for Kaiju. It's absolutely insane. Like they are going at it, but Kafka got to transform. He's got to do something. Kafka ends up transforming fully, ends up losing himself in the process of that transformation. And the same creature we saw that went in him in the very beginning in the first episode, we see that creature inside while Kafka kind of lost to the sauce. So that talking to him. Like, I don't know what that means. If that's just like you're lost within yourself, and now the kaiju's on autopilot, it's on animalistic mode. It's like I gotta defend myself because it recognizes the kaiju weapon as another kaiju. So it's defending itself as such, it's defending itself accordingly. That's probably going to bode bad because now it looks like its inhibitors are turned off. It's just about to scrap, and it's going to try to tear Kikuru's dad apart. Like it's finna rock him. So next episode is the last episode, I believe. I think it was episode 12. This was episode 11. So maybe the last episode. We could get another one. I don't know. I think it's just 12 episodes. Sometimes they go 13. Look, I don't know what's going to happen this next episode. It's probably crucial as far as what's going to happen. But Kafka either needs to get out and go on the run somewhere. He's still going to be locked up, and they're going to be performing tests on him, or they're going to maybe appeal to them through the political process of, hey, we got paperwork because Mina's got the paperwork and she's putting together like, hey, here's paperwork. He's been doing good. He's been doing all right. So that, but all that may be negated because of what's going on right now with him having a scrap with the director general. So I don't know. This episode got me twisted. I'm ready for more. I want to see more. Kaiju number 8 is doing a great job. I love the live streams every time they set the stuff up. So if you haven't checked out all of it or you need to rewatch it, go back and rewatch it. So you're going to start catching little bits and pieces of stuff, and we'll definitely see how it turns out next week. So I will catch y'all then on the next one.